All right. Hello, everyone.
Let's wait for a couple of minutes, Bobby.
Sorry.
And then after that, I will quickly introduce you in Turkish.
Perfect.
Merhabalar, herkese hepiniz IEFT Talks webinarlarına hoş geldiniz. Bugün havacılık ve sistem programları ile öne çıkan Embry-Riddle Aeronautical Üniversite eğitimi Bobby'den dinliyor olacağız. Lütfen sorularınızı soru cevap bölümünden yönlendirmeyi unutmayın. Yes, Bobby, the stage is yours now.
Okay. Thank you so much, Zainab. Hello, everyone. My name is Bobby Brannigan. I'm the Director of International Admissions for Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University. I would like to say merhaba. And we also have some subtitles in Turkish for those of you that I may speak a little too quickly in English for. So today's presentation is about Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University. I'm going to speak about my university, give you a little bit of information about our different degree programs. As the name suggests, we are an aeronautical university, but we're also so much more than that as well. So without further ado, let's get started. Okay. So our story, our university began in 1925. So we were an airmail aircraft producer, and we were actually the first flight school for American Airlines. 1965 is when our Daytona Beach, Florida campus was initiated. 1978 is when we initiated our Prescott, Arizona campus. So we have two campuses in the US. I'll give you more information on that as well. We have different degree programs from an Embry-Riddle Language Institute to a bachelor's, master's, and a PhD or doctoral level as well. So talking about my residential campuses, as you can see, this is a map of the United States. Currently, it's pretty cold around probably the middle to top of the US. But our campuses are located in southern states. So in Florida, it's nice, hot, tropical, beachy. We're about 10 minutes away from the Atlantic Ocean. We're located on the Daytona Beach International Airport as well. In Prescott, Arizona, we're nestled in the mountains in northern Arizona. So you will see all four seasons there. It's a small mountain community. It's very beautiful up there as well. We do offer a worldwide campus, so that's going to be an online type campus. We do have some locations around the world as well. Many of them are not open to civilians. However, many of them are. So it depends if you want to study online or if you're interested in a potential campus type setting, you're able to take advantage of that as well. These are the different degree programs that you can study online or through Worldwide Campus. We have associate degrees, which are typically going to be a 2-year degree program. So it's an associate degree of, and whatever the area of study would be. Bachelor degrees typically will take 4 years. Master's degrees typically take 2. We do also have a small Singapore campus as well. So if you're interested in studying in Asia, further in Asia, if you're on the Asian side of Turkey right now, you can go to Singapore. There are a limited number of degree programs available at that campus, and it's not a typical residential campus that you would find in the United States. I did want to speak about our Embry-Riddle Language Institute. So if you're interested in intensive English study, you're able to come to Embry-Riddle, to our Florida campus. You can study intensive English. English topics are in aviation and aerospace, English for visual flight rules, human factors in aviation, and some American topics as well. We do offer a pathway program into our degree programs. So if you have a minimal understanding of the English language, then you can begin our pathway program, which will allow you to finish your language studies as well as enroll in academic programs as well. You are eligible for provisional admission to any of our academic degree programs if you are enrolled in the Embry-Riddle Language Institute. Okay, specific to Embry-Riddle, some of our outcomes, right? So 97% of our graduates work in their chosen field, or they go to grad school within 1 year of graduation. So what that means for you is that there's a big return on investment for your investment in education, your monetary investment for the degree program and academic programs. Over 150,000 alumni are around the globe, including in Turkey. 9 of our graduates are current or former astronauts. So as you can imagine, we're very well involved in the aerospace industry. And then 25% of US pilots are ERAU graduates. So that could mean that they might be non-US citizens that studied at Embry-Riddle. They're currently at a regional carrier. They're certified flight instructors, whatever it may be. We do help our students to obtain full-time positions at US airlines as well. Okay, so our primary fields of study typically surround aviation, space, and engineering, those 3 highlighted fields. But like I mentioned before, we do have other fields of study. So they're all basically considered STEM fields, so science, technology, engineering, and math. We do offer safety, security, and intelligence. Actually, the first College of Business, Security, and Intelligence in the entire United States is here at Embry-Riddle. Business programs. So many institutions, if not all in the United States, do offer business programs. However, our business programs will be surrounded by other different types of topics as well, such as aviation business administration, airline finance, that type of thing as well. Computers and technology. Maybe you don't think an aeronautical university would offer computers and technology, but we do. Computer science, computer engineering, software engineering, data science, computational mathematics. So we have a lot of different types of computers and technology programs. And then we have applied sciences as well. Again, maybe you don't think, oh, you're an aeronautical university, all about aviation. Well, those aviation industries and aerospace industries still need applied sciences. We need meteorologists, which we offer. We offer the first and only program of its kind, aerospace physiology. So that blends aerospace with physiology. It's in our Department of Neuroscience. There's a hospital internship rotation that's part of that program as well. But we also have forensics. So forensic biology, forensic psychology, forensic accounting and fraud examination, those types of different degree programs. Human factors as well is one of our very unique type programs that blends the aerospace and aviation industry with the psychology and the cognitive senses as well. So we're going to dive a little bit deeper into these specific fields of study. So generally what Embry-Riddle provides to our students from our faculty members as well, we are a source for innovation and excellence in aerospace education, as you can imagine. We have different labs and facilities to assist with academic achievements. We have research opportunities as well. Our faculty are decorated from the industry, so they have that knowledge from the industry to be able to pass on to our students. Okay, first field of study we'll talk about is aviation. So employment categories in support of air transportation are expected to grow by 25% through 2024. So we're now at the end of this year. So we will get another Boeing outlook for the next probably 5 years and be able to update this slide as well. We do offer, as you can see, our flight line, fixed wing flight training options and specific aviation business programs, as well as many more. So talking about career potential after you study in one of our aviation or business related programs. You could go into being an air traffic controller, aviation investigator, aircraft manufacturing. You could be a mission coordinator through NASA or the aerospace industry, uncrewed aerial vehicle systems analyst. There's growing demand through the FAA for any of these specific degree programs as well. All right, and then for business, degree programs are ranging from management and finance, marketing, logistics, data science, business analytics as well. So business can be applied to any industry, not just the aerospace industry or aviation industry. As you can imagine, we need business in every single aspect of basically everything that happens around the world. So our business programs would be able to get you into different industries as well. But if you want to be specific to the aerospace and aviation industry, we do offer very specialized degree programs in business and aviation. So some career potentials from our business programs, you could be an airport duty manager, aircraft sales and acquisition, financial analyst, chief operating officer, program executive, CEO, director, HR, anything that you would be interested in, our business programs are able to get you there. And this is an exhaustive list of all of our aviation and business programs. So as you can see, a lot of different types of programs, management, leadership, logistics, and supply chain, but also we have air traffic management, aviation maintenance science, and then we have master's and PhD programs. And most of our degree programs, we do offer an accelerated master's potential. So you can begin your bachelor degree with Embry-Riddle and then move on to an accelerated master's and complete that just one additional year from your initial 4 years of your bachelor degree. So we have different pathways that are available on our website for the accelerated master's programs. All right, so moving on to our engineering programs. We prepare students to become problem solvers, innovators, leaders in the profession as well through our cutting edge technology, state-of-the-art labs and facilities, and like I mentioned, accelerated degree programs. So some career potential from our specific engineering programs, obviously aerospace engineer is great. We're highly ranked number 2 in aerospace engineering in the United States through US News and World Report. Systems analyst, electronic and payloads engineer, project engineer. So there's a growing demand for engineers in these fields as well as more different fields as well. We couple space with our engineering because a lot of our degree programs do have a lot of overlap in the engineering and space programs. You can work in an industry even as a non-US citizen in space in the US. If not, then there are space and aerospace type programs outside of the U.S. That are available as well. But it's a lot of hands-on learning. A lot of our technology and advanced equipment is available for use as well. Career potential in space. So you can be a space researcher, a systems engineer, a physicist, satellite console operator. So you don't just have to go into becoming an astronaut, although that's a pretty cool profession. You could do so many different things in space. And these are all of our specific engineering and space degree programs. So as you can see, aerospace engineering, we have astronomy and astrophysics. We have space physics, space operations, and all different types of engineering. Civil engineering, computer engineering, mechanical, software. We have different areas of concentration within these degree programs as well. So if you wanted to go into environmental and sustainability or structures, you can go into civil engineering. If you're interested in robotics or high performance vehicles, maybe you're interested in biomedical engineering, that would all be in our mechanical engineering. If you go into, say, computer science or computer engineering, you can go into homeland security, business administration, human factors. So there's a lot of different types of areas of concentration you can take advantage of. One very unique thing about our engineering, aerospace engineering specific program at the undergraduate level is we offer propulsion systems as an area of concentration. That's typically not seen at the undergraduate level. Many other institutions may only have that available starting at the master's level. So we have labs and facilities, including NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory on campus that our students are in every day. And all of our degree programs from day one, you're going to be in the labs and facilities. So we really do get you that practical knowledge in that one-on-one time with your faculty members during your degree programs. All right, so as I said, we do have the first College of Business, Security, and Intelligence in the entire United States. That is going to be located here at Embry-Riddle. It's featuring groundbreaking degree paths, work on real-world activities, and then access to specialized labs as well. So career potential for going into any of our cyber intelligence and security type degree programs. You can be a cybersecurity analyst, cyberspace operations officer, airport operations coordinator, security specialist, intelligence operations specialist as well. So there's a lot of different opportunities within the cyber intelligence as well. And specific to our degree programs that we do offer, aerospace and occupational safety, cyber intelligence and security, global conflict studies, homeland security and intelligence. And by the way, every single one of these degree programs are open to all citizens and non-US citizens. So even as a citizen of Turkey or wherever you may be joining us from, you are eligible to enroll in any of these degree programs. You can take advantage of many of the internship opportunities, and I'll talk about that in a couple of slides. But also, it depends on the scope of the work and what security clearance you may need for some of the internships, but our international students are very successful in obtaining an internship through any of our industry partners as well. Okay, and then talking about applied sciences. So our applied science degree programs are very research heavy, but again, also very practical. And you're not just going to sit in a large lecture hall. You're not going to be talked to by a teaching assistant. You're going to be in the labs and facilities as well. So researching weather patterns, human behavior, technology, aerospace, many other different topics as well. Some career potentials, you could be a lab technician, wildlife biologist through our applied biology program, medical equipment development, a biochemist. So you would, again, think, oh, it's an aeronautical university. I couldn't be a biochemist from going to Embry-Riddle. Well, you definitely could. We do offer these degree programs that can lead to that space as well. So aerospace physiology, like I said, first and only program of its kind in the United States. Applied biology, again, has different areas of concentration, such as wildlife sciences, communication. You can go into media, broadcasting, computer science, again, go into homeland security, human factors, business administration. We offer the forensic biology, forensic psychology. You work with local law enforcement on real world cases, which is pretty cool. So you get that practical one-on-one knowledge with that as well. Interdisciplinary studies is a great degree program for those that may not know what they want to do. Maybe you are a little interested in engineering, a little interested in some applied sciences. You can basically build your own degree program, so which is pretty cool. Simulation science, games, and animation. I know I like to play video games. I grew up on them. I still play them. But being able to actually study simulation science, games, and animation, go into international competitions, EA Sports, work for Disney, work for Microsoft, working on these simulation science different projects is amazing. And then again, master's and PhD in a couple of these fields as well. Okay. This is the end of the heavy information. I know, I'm so sorry. It's been a lot of information, and I hope you're still with me at this point. But this is one of the coolest parts of Embry-Riddle, and this is how we really ensure that our students are ready for the real world, right? Is our STEM labs. So again, we don't just have our well-known labs such as the flight line, which boasts over 100 instructional aircraft. We have an air traffic control tower. We also have state-of-the-art flight simulators as well. But on top of those, as you saw with our different degree programs, we have labs such as a supersonic wind tunnel. We have advanced vehicles and eco car garage. So if you're interested in, say, Formula One or competition type vehicles, going sustainable, green fuel options. We do that as well. Aerospace physiology, advanced geotechnical laboratory, composites laboratory. So you can design and build all different types of, composites. I know in one of the composites lab, they work with different materials and they try to find out, what can conduct heat, what doesn't conduct heat. What can take the pressure of going to space or going at high speeds. Sometimes they just sit there and just bang different types of materials to see what happens to them over a period of time, right? From the different hinges to the different screws to the different panels that are used in all these different types of things, from a computer to a car to an aircraft. And we have advanced cybersecurity labs. We have environmental and sustainability engineering labs, spatial orientation and disorientation labs. So basically that's astronaut training, which is pretty cool. Robotics and autonomous systems. So of course, we're an aerospace and aeronautical university. We have uncrewed aircraft systems programs as well. So if you're into drones, flying anything, flying cars, autonomous systems, that's what you can learn here at Embry-Riddle as well. All right, so now for some fun, we're talking about on campus. So yes, you have an academic degree program. Yes, you're coming to campus to study, but the other really great thing about US education and the experience that you get here versus maybe in other different countries or different institutions is going to be the student experience that you get when you are at a university. So many, if not all, universities in the United States will have many different clubs and organizations. You can be as involved as you would like, or if you only are interested in one or two things, that's definitely something that you're able to do as well. So as you can see, we have campus service clubs, right? So you could be in the Residence Hall Association, Student Government Association. Currently at our Florida campus, one of my international students that I recruited from Mexico is our student government president, which is great to see. So I know that our international students have a lot to offer and a lot to be proud of and be able to be involved with on campus. So it's great to see that. If you're more into professional clubs, American Institute of Aeronautics and Aviation, we have women in aviation, men in engineering, different types of professional programs. If you're interested in recreational, you do a camping and outdoors club. martial arts society, maybe a cricket club. We have special interest clubs such as, skydiving club, which is pretty cool. You can go into Greek life. Oh, sorry. There we go. Greek clubs, military clubs. So all different types of clubs and organizations. If there's not a club, it would be surprising, but if there's not a club that you are interested in, you can create your own club as well. So think about that and the experience that you have while you're on campus as well. Okay, so prepping for success. So we're going to talk about practical training. So on your F1 student visa, along with studying on campus and being part of clubs and organizations, you can also work. So you can work on campus. For Embry-Riddle, you can work up to 20 hours per week as an undergraduate student or graduate student in any department on campus that allows student employment. But you can also work off campus through what's called CPT, or curricular practical training. So what that means is you can have an internship off campus, but it has to be related to your degree program. So if you're in aerospace engineering, you can't go and work at the local mall as a cashier. That has nothing to do with aerospace engineering. So you need to, look for particular positions that have to do with your degree program. OPT through the F1 visa is what you are able to continue to work on post-graduation. So once you graduate, you can take advantage of OPT. So you're automatically given 12 months of OPT. So what that means is you can get a job within 6 months of graduating. You can stay in the US on your student visa. And once you are able to land a job, then you can work up to 12 months at that job. So say that you have an internship with American Airlines. So you can work there for up to 12 months. However, since it's probably considered a STEM program, then you can have a 24-month extension. So what that means is you can potentially stay in the US up to 3 years after you graduate from a bachelor's or master's degree, as long as it's a STEM designated program, which many, if not all of our degree programs are. And you can work without having to be sponsored by the employer. So which is a pretty good opportunity as well. Okay. So like I talked about, student employment, this is for on campus. So this is strictly on campus. You don't have to apply for something through the US government. It comes with your student visa. So just on campus, you can work in the library, on the flight line. You can be a lab assistant. You can work in the tutoring department as well. You could be a tour guide. You can work in international admissions, whatever it may be. So there's a lot of different opportunities to work on campus up to 20 hours per week. What we do offer is a career and industry expo. So we offer this twice a year at both of our residential campuses, and we offer a virtual career and industry expo as well. So you can go and meet with over 100 of our industry partners that are looking specifically for our students. So this is where internship opportunities come from. You can do on-the-spot interviews. You can just submit your resume for future consideration. And many of our students, 97% of them, are in their field of study within 1 year graduating. So what that means is you would meet employers maybe twice a year, be able to land an internship and eventually a full-time job post-graduation. So this is just going over admissions requirements. So I will go over this really quickly, specifically for Embry-Riddle. So each university in the US might be a little bit different, but for us, you would complete the online application. As you can see, we have an application fee waiver code, so it's free to apply. We don't utilize the Common App, which I'm sure many of you have probably heard of. We would take the application directly on our website. You would submit all your official high school or college transcripts. We would require the foreign credential evaluation on any of your college transcripts from outside of the university. Outside of the United States, I'm so sorry. Official language proficiency scores. So we would require TOEFL, IELTS, Duolingo, or Cambridge. However, if you take advantage of coming to the Embry-Riddle Language Institute, we're able to waive the language proficiency requirement as long as you complete all 5 levels of our language institute. And again, you're eligible for provisional admission to the academic degree program, and you can take advantage of the pathway program as well. SAT or ACT score is optional. We don't require it for admission at all at the undergraduate level. We do require it for scholarship consideration. So that's for first-time incoming students that do not have any college or university coursework. I will talk about scholarships here in a minute as well. Additional documents that you can submit: recommendation letter, essay and personal statement, not required. But once you are admitted to the university, then you can request the I-20, which is that document that you would use to secure your US visa appointment. You would have to submit your $200 tuition deposit in order to be eligible for registering for classes and moving forward with the admissions. So same thing with graduate admissions. However, we do require additional documents for grad. Same thing, complete online application. Your application fee waiver code would still be the same as well. Submitting all your official college transcripts through the foreign credential evaluation process if you completed your bachelor degree outside of the United States. We have a list of these foreign credential evaluation companies on our website as well. Official language proficiency scores, same. And then, again, same, you're eligible for provisional admission. You won't be able to take advantage of the pathway program, unfortunately, but you would be eligible for completing language training here at Embry-Riddle and then gaining full admission to the degree program at that point in time once you've satisfied the language requirement. Official GRE or GMAT scores. So those are standardized tests. One of them is strictly for engineering and engineering type programs. It depends on the degree program that you're applying to, whether you need to submit this test or not. Additional required documents are recommendation letters, resumes, and personal statement or statement of objectives. And then once you're admitted, same thing. You can apply for your I-20 to secure your US visa appointment, and then you can submit your $200 tuition deposit to be eligible for registering for classes. Okay, only a couple more slides, I promise. And then I'll get to a lot of your questions. So for IB curriculum, so say that you're studying an IB, we do offer advanced standing credit. So this is just a example of how you can achieve college credit through, say, the IB or another one of our advanced standing curriculums. So say that you take IB physics, higher level, you get a 5, 6, or 7, you'd be able to waive out of 7 degree program required credits with those scores. So that means that you don't have to take physics 113 and 113 with lab, right? Say you do standard level, get 5, 6, or 7, you would just waive out of physics 113. So what that means is if there's a lab component required for the degree program, you would still have to satisfy that requirement. The other advanced standing credits that we offer credit for, Cambridge, so A levels, AS levels as well, so GCSEs, College Board through AP, advanced placement. So typically AP would be through an American diploma as well. So it just kind of depends. Okay, so a big thing is scholarship opportunities, right? So we want to know how much money you may be eligible for that would be basically a discount off of your tuition. So for first-time incoming students from high school, do not have any college or university coursework, partial merit scholarships range from $6,000 up to about $21,000 US dollars per year. That's almost about half of the tuition that you can have covered by scholarship. Again, SAT or ACT scores are required for the first time in college students. Transfer students, so if you're currently at a university or maybe you have some college credit, you didn't complete a degree program, you can transfer to us. You're eligible for scholarship based on transfer GPA. You would automatically be considered for the scholarship upon admission. We do have external scholarship opportunities that we can provide to you that we've been researching over the years in hopes that our non-US citizens are able to secure more funding. For graduate students, unfortunately, we do not offer scholarship. We do offer assistantships. So once you get to campus, then you're eligible to apply for an assistantship like any other job on campus, and in return, potentially receive tuition waivers. You could have a living stipend, an hourly wage. They're all a little bit different. I do want to talk about the cost of attendance for Embry-Riddle. So this is going to be our undergraduate and graduate estimated costs for the residential campuses. So this is in Florida or Arizona. Pricing is about the same. So as you can see, tuition and fees is about $46,000. If you get one of those top scholarships, about 21-ish thousand. It's almost half of that tuition that you can have waived just based on scholarship and merit, right? Room and board, would be required. First 2 years for first-time incoming students under the age of 21. Any other student would be eligible to live off campus, but you still have to kind of factor in the room and board or living expenses, right? So you need an apartment, you need transportation, utilities, food, all that is included if you live on campus. But if you live off campus, then you need to find that amount of money as well. Graduate estimated costs, tuition itself is about 27,000 US dollars. Room and board is the same, that's generally what it is, whether you're on campus or off campus, and then an estimate for books. Okay. Worldwide and online is much more affordable. Many students will opt to go maybe complete the first 2 years through our worldwide campus and then transfer to the residential campus to complete their degree program. That way they still get a degree from Embry-Riddle, but they're able to, take advantage of the more affordable tuition costs in the first year or two. We can provide transfer guides as well that kind of tells you exactly what classes to take that would transfer into the degree program at our residential campuses. So it's in worldwide and online, excuse me, is a pay-as-you-go. So you don't have to pay all this money up front. You're just gonna, pay per class that you are enrolled in. And we're very flexible with our worldwide and online campus as well. So, if you're a working adult that wants to go for an undergraduate or graduate degree, I myself did my graduate degree through Worldwide Online. It was very flexible, and it still was pretty rigorous. Many of the faculty members, though, are the same faculty that teach on campus as well. All right, so this is just some of the stuff that our students have done. If you want to fly an aircraft, design an engine, lead an industry, predict the weather, explore outer space, you're able to do that with Embry-Riddle, and so much more as well. So thank you so much for everything. This is our contact information on this next slide. So if you wanted to take a quick screenshot of this, we can leave this up during the Q&A as well. But I do have one more slide just to say thank you so much. So with that, I guess we can start the Q&A as well. All right. Let me see. So the first question, actually, I'm going to kind of blend these two together potentially. So let me answer this live. Then I'll answer this one live as well. Okay. So I'm not sure what the first question was about, but what qualities do you think are important for students to succeed in this program? It's a good question. So I think it depends on the degree program, but generally in Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University, you should be dedicated to your academics. You should know how to ask the right questions, right? That's going to be a big thing. So when you're at our university studying in our curriculum, in our labs and facilities, interacting with our industry partners, interacting with our faculty, I think that it is very important for you to be able to kind of discuss with them what you want to do, right? So we do offer a lot of help and assistance and guidance for what you want to do in terms of your career, in terms of your social life, whatever it may be. We are here to help you as well. So we have a very high median GPA at the university. So a lot of our students are very dedicated to their work, to their academics as well. But we are literally changing the world, right? And so we want students and individuals that want to come and help us in that journey to be the best there is out there, to continue to achieve great heights. So I hope that answered your question. Okay, this next question, what percentage of graduates find jobs in their field within 6 months of graduation? So typically, our survey will cover up to a year after graduation because many of our international students have 6 months, 5 to 6 months to secure a job post-graduation, right? So 97%, is our survey number. As of right now for both U.S. citizens and non-U.S. citizens, whether that's a job in the U.S. or it's outside of the U.S. So I would say, 3% or less either are in their field of study within 1 year graduating, or they potentially, I don't know, maybe they go on to a master's degree, maybe they need to not work for a year or two. I'm not sure. So it just kind of depends, but it's a very high number for the return on investment. Okay, this is a great question. What internship or co-op opportunities are available for STEM students? There's so many different options. So you could go be a certified flight instructor. You could work in a flight line or a lab. You could our students go to Microsoft, Boeing, Bausch and Lomb. They go to Rockwell Collins. They go to Lockheed Martin, EA Sports, SpaceX. You name it, they got it, right? So even as, computer scientists, one of our industry partners, Rockwell Collins, they're an aerospace engineering firm, right? But they came to our industry and career expo not looking for our aerospace engineers. They were looking for our software engineers. So they gave many internships on the spot to software engineers. So just because it's an aerospace firm doesn't mean they don't need cybersecurity. They don't need, somebody that's working in unmanned aircraft systems, software engineering, computer engineering, because technology definitely runs many of these companies as well. So many different internship or co-op opportunities. Like I mentioned, part of aerospace physiology, you'd be working directly in a hospital with real patients and real doctors. With our forensic biology and forensic psychology programs, you'd be working with local law enforcement. So you would be in the crime scene investigation labs. You would be looking at cadaver labs and, different profiles of different criminals through like psychology. So there's a lot of different co-op and internship opportunities off campus, but even on campus, undergraduate research. If you're in business, then you can help at our research park. We are opening up a brand new Boeing Research Center facility right here in Central Florida. So many of our students are going to be very involved in those types of things as well. If you're in astronomy, you can work in the planetarium in our Arizona campus. So a lot of different opportunities. Okay. How do you decide which student to accept? So basically, at the undergraduate level, we're really looking at merit. right? Academics. So as long as you generally have the background in math and science and you meet our minimum criteria for the GPA or grade point average, you would be admissible to the university. For the graduate and PhD or doctoral levels, it's a little bit different because it's the program coordinators that are deciding the acceptance of those candidates. So that has to do with probably much more than just your academics and your background. So they'll look at you as a student as a whole, your recommendation letters, what research you've done, what you want to do in their degree program. So it's a little bit different for each degree level. But yeah, so hopefully that kind of helped. Okay. These are great questions. Thank you all so much. Okay, how does the Career Services Office assist STEM majors? So with our Career Services Office, they offer mock interviews, resume writing. They have a list of many different employers that are looking for open positions. They are the ones that organize and execute the Career and Industry Expo twice a year. But they also have access to this platform. It's called InterStride. And so we have, our partnerships will post internships and full-time positions on there so that our students have, firsthand knowledge, what they're looking for, but also it's easy to apply for those positions as well. All right. What are some of the tools that are used in the classes? So that's a really good question. So each class is going to be a little bit different depending on the subject matter of the class. So I went over a lot of my different labs and facilities. We have lists of them, so many labs and facilities. So on our website, it has a really good comprehensive explanation of what happens in each of the labs, right? So different tools could be in a hyperbolic chamber for space operations, right? Or the spatial disorientation chamber. In aviation maintenance science, you have a toolkit to be a technician for an airplane. So you're looking at airframe and the power plant of the aircraft. In robotics labs, you have different types of materials. You have different propulsion systems that you'll be working with. So I think that on our website, it probably gives you a little bit more, like I said, of a comprehensive overview of everything that happens in these labs and facilities. Unfortunately, I'm not an expert in our labs, but I do know, that there's a lot of really good information available there as well. Okay. And this one, labs, equipment, or technology is available for students. One other thing, we do have a supercomputer, which is pretty cool. I don't think I mentioned that. But the supercomputer would be something, we have, again, computers and technology, computational mathematics, even if you need to run different forecasting for meteorology, different, formulas for the robotics or for the propulsion laboratories or anything like that. We're able to do that as well. Okay. This is a question. I got flight education through an academy in Turkey. Would this make me eligible? So we offer the FAA flight ratings. So if you completed your flight training through Turkey, that's great. We could potentially be able to help you convert your licenses to the FAA equivalent. You could potentially be a certified flight instructor with us. You don't have to go through the flight training here again. But depending on the degree program, say you want to go into aviation maintenance science, say that you want to go into air traffic control, maybe you want to go into aviation business administration, you would potentially be eligible for transfer credit based on the flight training that you've already completed. So hopefully that helps. All right, pros and cons of flight education. So many pros are that, the airline industry and the air transportation industry, is always going to be here. If nothing else, it's been growing exponentially since COVID. We weren't sure, what the airline industry would look like coming out of the pandemic. However, it was back to normal and then some, probably, within a couple of years after COVID. So The pros are that there's a huge demand, right? Even here in the US, a lot of the current pilots are, being forced to retire at the age of 65. The FAA will not allow pilots to continue to be commercial pilots past the age of 65. So what that means is there's going to be a huge demand for pilots. So what that could mean is more opportunities for international students to be able to fly through, or with U.S. carriers. The cons of flight education, I'm not sure if there are a whole lot. But even if it's not being an actual pilot, again, airline management, airport management, airline finance. Going into human factors. So designing the cockpit of the airplane, or being a technician for any of the parts that break. Anything like that, I feel, there's a huge demand for the industry as a whole. But yeah, I'm not sure what a con would be. I guess if you did become a pilot and then you weren't able to fly anymore through health or whatever it may be, that would probably be a con. But then there's always that bachelor degree to fall back on as well. Scholarship opportunities, I explained that. So hopefully you saw that. Okay, this is a good question. I graduated from İzmir University of Economics. I love İzmir, just there. It's very beautiful. Aerospace engineering department with 100% English. Is the language certificate given by the school sufficient, or do I still need to get one of the language proficiency requirements, I would assume? So typically our rule of thumb to be able to waive the language proficiency requirement is that your entire degree program would have to be taught in English. So if İzmir University of Economics, if all of your classes are taught in English 100% of the time, it says very clearly that the language of instruction is English. Say that you went to an English high school, American curriculum, an IB curriculum, a British curriculum, whatever it may be. As long as you were taught fully in English, then we would potentially be able to waive the language proficiency requirement. So it's not always required. It just kind of depends on what your transcripts say and what your school, what your school was, curriculum was. Okay. All right, one of the last questions. Are there specific scholarships for research or academic achievement in STEM? Definitely. So many of our continuing students are able to secure undergraduate research funding. Some academic achievements and some of the other scholarships that may be offered are department specific. They could be a specific company that provides scholarships. So I would say do as much research as possible, but our website does have a lot of these different scholarship opportunities available as well. So you can research, apply to as many as possible. But definitely our students, as a continuing student, you have access to the industry partners and to these potential scholarship opportunities to help, continue to fund your education throughout your time at Embry-Riddle. And that's both at the undergraduate and graduate level as well. Okay. Looks like that might be all of the questions that we have.
Yes, thank you very much for the great presentation, Bobby. And you covered all of the questions. Thank you for your answers as well. Also, could you please share an email address on the chat box? So if the participants have further questions, they can reach out to you later on.
Yeah, definitely.
Thank you. In the meantime, I would like to also thank the participants in Turkish as well. Katıldığınız için teşekkür ederiz arkadaşlar. Umarım sizin için de faydalı bir webinar olmuştur. Embry-Riddle ile ilgili diğer sorularınız için Bobby'nin şimdi chat kısmında paylaşacağı e-mail adresinden her zaman iletişime geçebilirsiniz. Bir sonraki webinarlarımızda görüşmek üzere. Thank you very much again, Bobby. It was a pleasure to have you in IEFT Talks.
Thank you. Bye, everybody.
Take care. Bye bye.
Teşekkürler.
Teşekkürler.